Flying after 50 is not necessarily harder, but it is different. And there are few things nobody really tells you before your next trip. Things that can make the difference between a stressful travel day and a much more comfortable experience. Maybe you have been flying for years, or maybe it has been a long time since your last flight. Perhaps you are planning a dream vacation, visiting family, or finally taking that trip you've been putting off. But here's something many travelers don't realize. Airports have changed. Airlines have changed. And the way we experience flying has changed too. The good news? You don't need to become an expert traveler overnight. With a few simple adjustments, flying can become easier, more comfortable, and far less stressful. In this video, I'll share 10 things nobody tells you about flying after 50, so you can travel with more confidence, avoid common frustrations, and enjoy the journey as much as the destination. Before we get started, if you enjoy practical travel tips like these, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Every week, we share simple ways to help travelers over 50 save money, avoid common travel mistakes, and enjoy more comfortable trips. And if you find this video helpful, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a like. It lets me know you'd like to see more videos like this. Now, let's get into the first truth. Truth number 1. Flying has changed more than you think. If you haven't flown in several years, you may notice something immediately. Flying is not quite the same as it used to be. Many airlines now separate services that were once included. Seat selection, checked luggage, sometimes even carry-on bags. Boarding passes are often digital. Check-in usually happens online. And airports have become larger, busier, and more automated. For travelers returning after a long break, this can feel overwhelming at first. But don't let it discourage you. Most of these changes are easy to learn before your trip. And once you have completed one journey, the process will already feel much more familiar. Truth number 2. Comfort matters more than saving money. When you're younger, saving money often feels like the most important thing. But many travelers discover something after 50. The cheapest option is not always the best value. A better departure time, a more comfortable seat, or avoiding a stressful connection can make a huge difference. Because your vacation doesn't begin when you arrive at your destination. It begins the moment you leave your home. Sometimes spending a little more means arriving with more energy and less stress. Truth number 3. Airlines offer more help than many people realize. Here is something many travelers don't know. You don't have to struggle through a large airport simply because you are able to do it. Many airlines offer free assistance for passengers who need extra support. This can include help navigating large airports, assistance with long walking distances, or support during connections. And this isn't only for travelers who use wheelchairs. Many people over 50 use these services because airports can involve several miles of walking, long security lines, and exhausting transfers. The smartest travelers are not the ones who make travel the hardest. They are the ones who know what help is available. Truth number 4. Your seat can make or break your flight. Many travelers spend hours searching for the perfect flight price, but only a few minutes thinking about their seat. Yet your seat can completely change your experience. An aisle seat may make it easier to stand up and move around. A seat closer to the front may help you leave the aircraft faster. A seat away from busy areas may make the flight feel more relaxing. The best seat is different for everyone. The important thing is choosing the seat that fits your needs. Truth number 5. The cheapest flight is not always the best deal. A low airfare can look like a great deal, but the final cost may include things you didn't expect. Extra baggage fees, seat charges, long transfers, remote airports, or inconvenient departure times. Sometimes a slightly more expensive flight saves you hours of frustration, especially when traveling longer distances. The cheapest ticket is only a bargain if it still gives you the experience you want. Truth number 6. Long flights can feel different than they used to. Many travelers notice that long flights simply feel different over time. Sitting in the same position for hours, dry cabin air, limited movement, and changing sleep schedules can become more noticeable. Small habits can help. Drink enough water, stretch whenever possible, move around the cabin, wear comfortable clothing, and don't underestimate the value of a good travel pillow or supportive layers. Small adjustments can make a long flight much easier. Truth number 7. Longer layovers can actually be better. Many travelers try to find the shortest possible connection, but faster isn't always better. A short connection may leave you rushing through a huge airport, especially if your first flight is delayed. A longer layover gives you time to find your gate, use the restroom, eat something, and relax before your next flight. Sometimes an extra hour can remove a lot of unnecessary stress. Truth number 8. Airline apps are now part of the journey. Years ago, many travelers simply arrived at the airport and followed the signs. Today, airline apps have become an important part of flying. They can show gate changes, flight updates, boarding information, baggage details, and sometimes upgrade opportunities. If technology feels unfamiliar, don't worry. You don't need to use every feature. Even knowing the basics can make your trip much smoother. Truth number 9. Packing light becomes even more important. A heavy suitcase can make every part of travel more difficult. Carrying bags through airports, lifting them into vehicles, moving through hotels, finding space on trains or buses. Many travelers discovered that bringing less actually gives them more freedom. Choose clothes that can be combined. Avoid packing items you might use only once. And remember, if you forget something small, you can usually buy it at your destination. Truth number 10. Your first flight after a long break may feel scary, but it gets easier. If you haven't traveled in years, it is completely normal to feel nervous. Maybe you are worried about airports, security, technology, or simply remembering how everything works. Many travelers feel exactly the same way before their first trip back. But here's what often happens. The hardest part is usually the first step. Once you check in, find your gate, board the aircraft, and complete that first journey, your confidence starts to return. You don't have to be a frequent flyer to enjoy traveling. You just need preparation and the courage to begin. Flying after 50 isn't about trying to travel exactly the same way you did years ago. It's about understanding what works better for you now. More comfort, more preparation, less stress, and making choices that help you enjoy the journey. Because travel isn't only about reaching your destination. It's about feeling confident, comfortable, and excited along the way. If you found these tips helpful, there are more practical travel guides waiting for you here on the channel. Until next time, safe travels.